Alright, I'm going to tie an orange stimulator. This is the hook I'm using, a C53S times 3 long, size 14. Thread I'm using is 30 denier GSP. So start my thread at the back of the thorax. And we don't need to go all the way back. We just bring it back forward to where we started. For the tail, I'm using deer hair. I'm going to get it situated to the length that I want out back for the tail. I'll put a few turns in, leaving it on the top side. Just gently slide my left thumb and left index fingers back as I wrap over. I'm not wrapping real tight yet. Okay. That looks pretty good. Like that. There we go. That'll work. And then to keep the tail down a little bit, I like to take a little bit of super glue and push it onto the thread. Let it kind of seep down into the fibers right at the edge of the tail. Just to help hold it in place and keep it from flaring too much. There we go. That looks good. And then I can start to tighten everything down as I come back forward. I'll trim this out. And tie this all in fairly well. Next, I've got a extra small copper wire. I'll tie this on the bottom. And I'll hold that tail in place too, just to make sure it doesn't, cattywampus on me. That looks fairly good. For dubbing, I'm just using some super bright fluorescent fire orange. I like the way this looks on stimulators, on orange stimulators. It's just got that little hint of yellow in there. Oops. Get away from me there. Stuff can be a little tough to dub though, but just put a, come on you. So let's see if we can just get it started there. There we go. Alright. Sorry for the jingling. The dog's walking around in the back. And I'll just bring this dubbing up. And slowly build a taper here. I kind of like to leave the body fairly even here. That's good enough. And so for my body hackle, I've got a furnace hackle that's undersized to size 16. And I'm just going to prep my hackle like that. And start it at the body. This time I'm going to pull behind and wrap around to get that hackle to stand straight up. I'm going to bring my stem to my near side and tie it along the near side. Trim that out. Come forward and back. All right. What? 2 full rotations up front with my hackle before I start working it to the back. Some people like to have their body hackle super sparse. I like to have about 5 turns in there. And then when I get to the back, I'll do 2 at the back. Okay. I'm going to catch this with my copper wire, going in the same direction I'm hackling. 2 turns at the back, 45-degree angle forward. Try to catch all those on the same point. Going around, wow, and all these little moths just show up. And twist that off. Fold that one fiber back and bring my thread back. And with that wire being extra small, I don't break the hackle off. I just trim it out with a cuticle clipper. Okay. That looks pretty good. Next we got to put in our wing. I typically go for about 3 times as much as I did the tail to start with, and then it'll be thinned down a little bit as it's combed out and cleaned. Gotta clean the stuff real well though, or it won't stack up for you. I just use this little dollar comb from the dollar store. It works pretty well, I think. And the price is right. Okay. I'm gonna stack it. I'm gonna check for any broke ends or anything I don't like in there. And get rid of that now. Then I'll stack it again. Alright, I'll get my wing to sit just into or about halfway into the tail. Okay. Now by pinching the shank and the hair, I'm going to put an elevated pinch wrap in. And on my second turn, I'm going to pull up and start working through that hair, tying it in. Making sure I get everything out the way of the eye. A couple loose fibers there. Okay. It's pretty good. Trim that out fairly close. I like it at a little bit of an angle. It helps build up the taper. I don't like to add a ton of dubbing to make the front end taper. I know some people would rather have all that dubbing there. I don't care for that myself, but to each their own. So next I'm going to prep my grizzly hackle in the same manner. Just like that. And tie this in the back side and wrap it in coming forward. That's pretty good. Then if I got any of the little short stuff in my way, I'll come in with some pinch scissors. If you're super careful, you can use a razor blade. Excuse me. Okay. I'm going to go back to my dubbing. I know some people like the orange body and yellow head, or yellow head and orange body, and you can do either one, really, whatever you're looking to do. There isn't too much that changes tying different stimulator patterns. Every once in a while there'll be something you'll have to change a little bit, but for the most part they're all tied the same way. Okay, that's pretty good. Just enough room for a little head. Take my grizzly hackle, a couple full rotations in the back, and we'll go 2 or 3 turns coming forward. I like to tie this off on the top side of my hook. Okay. Again, use these little cuticle clippers to punch through that stem. If the stem's small enough, those work great. Again, I got that at a dollar store too. Okay. I think part of the reason I like this dubbing on stimulators is just because it's got a little bit of a wild factor look to it. So I'm going to color the thread orange. I'm going to do a colored wet whip on this. Unfortunately, the orange turns more red, but that's okay. If you really want, you can just tie with orange thread. I just like the GSP for a lot of this hair work. It makes it easier as far as I'm concerned, except for when you and it accidentally slices through the hair, which it will do once in a while if you're not careful. We got one little fiber trapped. And that's it. To tie an orange stimulator. Well, if you like the videos, I always appreciate a thumbs up or a like. Subscribe and share. Tell your friends. And as always, happy tying, everybody. Take care. We'll see you next time.